Hello and welcome. You're watching Sports Buzz with me, Deepika, your daily half-an-hour window that brings you all the latest news and updates from different sporting arenas. In the next half an hour, we're going to bring you all the latest from the world of cricket, super soccer matches tonight, and a lot more. First up, let's quickly begin with top headlines of the hour. And in IPL today, Punjab Kings all set to face Sunrisers Hyderabad, boasting home ground support. Kings would look forward to move out from the middle of the points table to maintain their lead. Sumit Nagal becomes first ever Indian male to win on clay court at the ATP Masters in singles main draw. Sumit Nagal all set to face Holger Rune in round of 32 next. In Super Champions League, Arsenal all set to play host Bayern Munich in quarterfinals first leg tonight. In another clash, Real Madrid to face Manchester City. And Pakistan reshuffles team management ahead of New Zealand T20 series and T20 Cricket World Cup. PCB names Azhar Mahmood as the new head coach. PCB to also announce squad for New Zealand series later today. And now let's get you all the latest from the world of Indian Premier League. Well, after two losses on the trot, Chennai Super Kings returned to their winning ways with a convincing 7-wicket victory over Kolkata Knight Riders on Tuesday in Chennai. Following a phenomenal bowling performance, Chennai Super Kings successfully chased down a modest target of 138 runs, led by captain Ruturaj Gaikwad's impressive half-century. The home team also sealed the victory in just 17.4 overs. Earlier, Ravindra Jadeja started with a miserly spell of 3 for 18, while Tushar Deshpande bowled good lines and lengths to pick 3 for 33, and Mustafizur Rahman showcased exceptional command on slower deliveries to help Chennai Super Kings restrict Kolkata Knight Riders to a below par of 137 for a loss of 9 wickets. On the other hand, an inconsistent Punjab Kings, they will take on highly aggressive Sunrisers Hyderabad as both of them clash in a mid-table battle in the IPL on Tuesday evening. Now, both Sunrisers Hyderabad and Punjab Kings have 2 victories and 2 losses from their 4 matches to be tied with 2 other teams in the middle with 4 points, and they will be now desperate to break out of the mid-table logjam first. Sunrisers Hyderabad recorded the highest team total in the history of the IPL and wrote their victory over Mumbai Indians, while they also notched up a convincing 6-wicket victory over reigning champions Chennai Super Kings. The likes of Abhishek Sharma, Travis Head, Henrik Klassen and Aiden Markram have consistently taken the attack to the opposition bowlers, providing the team with blistering starts. Punjab Kings too have plenty of big hitting potentials with their batting lineup boosting of Shikhar Dhawan, Johnny Bairstow, Liam Livingstone. But apart from the skipper, now nobody has been able to consistently put up a show so far. So let's see what happens tonight. In another update from IPL, Lucknow Super Giants CEO on Monday stated young pace sensation Mayank Yadav remains uncertain to play Lucknow Super Giants' next IPL match against Delhi Capital that is scheduled to take place on the 12th of April because of an abdominal niggle which will require monitoring over the week. Mayank suffered the niggle during Lucknow Super Giants' 33-run victory over Gujarat Titans at Lucknow on Sunday, where he walked off the field with Lucknow Super Giants physio after bowling just 1 over against the Titans. The youngster, who generally crosses the 150 km/h mark effortlessly, could barely go past 140 in his lone over in which he conceded 13 runs. Staying on cricket, New Zealand will host England in tests in Christchurch, Wellington and Hamilton in November and December this year. The first test at Christchurch Hagley Oval will begin on the 28th of November, with the Basin Reserve in Wellington hosting the second from 6th till the 10th of December. The series wraps up at Hamilton Sidon Park from the 14th till the 18th of December. The 3 clashes will form part of the World Test Championship that New Zealand won in its inaugural edition. New Zealand are also currently third in the rankings, with England ninth and last. And ahead of the upcoming home T20 international series against New Zealand and T20 Cricket World Cup, Pakistan Cricket Board has announced coaching changes, shuffling team management for New Zealand series. Now, former international all-rounder Azhar Mahmood has been unveiled as the new head coach, and he will be joined by Mohammad Yusuf and Saeed Ajmal as batting and spin bowling coaches respectively. On the other hand, Wahab Riaz, who was the chief selector, will take on the role of senior team manager. The first assignment for the group will be the 5-match T20I series against New Zealand, which begins on the 18th of April. The teams meet in Rawalpindi for the first 3 matches of the series before travelling to Lahore for matches 4 and 5. Pakistan will announce the playing squad as well against New Zealand on Tuesday, which is later today. Moving on in sports buzz, now let's get you the latest from the world of soccer. Well, Manchester City and Real Madrid will renew their rivalry as the two powerhouses of club meet in the UEFA Champions League quarter-final first leg in Madrid. Here's a report that tells you more.
Defending champions Manchester City meet record winners Real Madrid in the first leg of the Champions League quarter-finals at the Bernabeu in Madrid on Tuesday. City beat the 14 times Champions League winners in the Champions League semi-finals last season, drawing 1-1 away and securing a thumping 4-0 win at the Etihad in the second leg. However, in 2022, it was Real Madrid who knocked City out in the semi-finals 6-5 on aggregate after extra time. The citizens are riding a 25-game unbeaten streak across all competitions and have won 11 of their last 12 matches on the road. The club has gone 21 consecutive Champions League contests without a loss and has recorded 10 victories in a row, the second longest winning streak in the history of the competition after Bayern Munich. The last team to beat them were Real Madrid in the semi-final return leg in May 2022. Norwegian striker Erling Haaland leads the way as he is tied for the first place in the Champions League with 6 goals. But despite a perfect record, manager Pep Guardiola said that City should not expect a repeat of their dominant win over Real Madrid last season.
It's difficult because beat Real Madrid 2 times in the same way is almost impossible. So beat once in this competition is difficult. Imagine 2 in a row. So the target is not easy, and performing that well because they learn, they have pride, and they have to try to be smart. Tomorrow they're going to have to play and see what happened in the second leg. Last season, 2 seasons ago, we were out for the last minutes here. Last season we won. Looks like a classic, between them and ourselves in the last years, but no, I don't have the feeling that is where it is last season. So he is right, the same managers, no long time ago. But new players they have new players. So completely different games, and of course, we have a little advantage for the fact the second leg is at home. Like, we feel strong, we are incredibly confident.
While on the other hand, Los Blancos have also gone quite a while without a defeat, recording 9 wins and 4 draws over their last 13 matches across all competitions. The club enters Tuesday with a 26-game unbeaten streak at home, with its last setback coming in April 2023 against Villarreal during a La Liga play. Midfielder Jude Bellingham is the top offensive threat for Los Blancos as he is tied for 9th in the Champions League with 4 goals. Both teams have a lot of individual quality on the pitch, so I think you're going to watch a really nice match in terms of technical quality. Then we can think we might be better in some aspects of the game, and they might think the same. I think the superiority will be seen after 180 minutes. The superior one will be the one who wins the tie. The match will also see 2 managers with the most wins in Champions League history going head-to-head. Carlo Ancelotti has 113 victories to Pep Guardiola's 109. City are bidding to repeat last year's treble-winning season. They are currently 3rd in the Premier League, 1 point behind leaders Arsenal and Liverpool, and they face Chelsea in the FA Cup semi-finals on April 20. The second leg will be played at the Etihad in Manchester on April 17. The winner will play either Arsenal or Bayern Munich in the semi-finals. Sports Desk, DD India.
On the other hand, inform Arsenal will be seeking to set the record straight when they face Bayern Munich in the first leg of their Champions League quarter-final on Tuesday, but will be wary of a familiar face who simply loves scoring against the Gunners. The last time the two clubs they clashed in the competition was back in the year 2017 when Bayern Munich won both legs of their last 16 tie 5-1, which is a humiliating outcome that underlined Arsenal's decline. Arsenal only returned to the Champions League this season and have thrived, reaching their first quarter-final since the 2009-10 season while challenging for the Premier League title. And now to discuss more on this, I'm joined by DD India sports correspondent Naran Singh from the newsroom. Naran, when we talk about the clashes tonight, which are super exciting, the fans also have been saying that both the matches shouldn't have been falling on the same date. But when we talk about Arsenal's match, can they stop the unstoppable Kane and co?
Definitely, Deepika, if we talk about today's two fascinating matches are there, and we can say the mouth-watering clashes in the European arena for the football fans all across the world. If we talk about Arsenal versus Bayern Munich, it's going to be, we can say, a tricky contest considering the form of the Bayern Munich right now, the way they are just struggling in their Bundesliga, and they are at the distant second place in their domestic league, and there is a gap of 16 points between the table toppers Bayern Leverkusen and Bayern Munich, and the first time in 11 years they will relinquish the title of the Bundesliga. And we can say that if we talk about the Arsenal this side, they are at the top of the Premier League, and under the Mikel Arteta, the kind of football they have played in the past few seasons, it is clearly visible in the English Premier League. They are giving a tough competition to heavyweights like Liverpool and ManCity, and in that sense it's going to be very difficult for the Bayern Munich, because if you take a look, they bought Harry Kane when Robert Lewandowski left the Bayern club, and in that sense we can say that Harry Kane is still waiting for a trophy. If you take a look his career, his CV, he is the most highest goal scorer for the Tottenham Hotspur and also for the England team, but still he is waiting for we can say a major trophy in the football, and in that sense it is very important for Harry Kane also. But all in all, we can say that Liverpool is a tricky side and Bayern Munich is the heavyweight of the European football, so it's going to be a cracker of a contest tonight.
And when we talk about
Emirates.
the previous records also, Narayan, the previous 3 games put a lot of pressure now on Arsenal. What are the key focus areas that Arsenal should keep in mind ahead of tonight's super clash?
Definitely, if you take a look, Arsenal has never won a match against, since in the past 5 contests, they never won against Bayern Munich. In that sense, if you take a look, the lineup of the Bayern Munich side, they have the Harry Kane, the most prolific striker, one of the most prolific striker in the world football right now. So we know that what kind of goalkeeper the Arsenal goalkeeper David Raya is, that his heroics we have seen in the previous matches, and he will be the key for how to stop the Bayern attack here. If David Raya is up to the mark, definitely it's going to be very difficult for the Bayern side to win this match.
And when we talk about ManCity versus Real Madrid match, there are already security concerns regarding the match. But keeping that concern aside, keeping the fact that they go ahead in tonight's match with a rooftop coverage over them at the Bernabeu Stadium, Kyle Walker is still missing. Would that delight the fans and the team? Can they cope up with the loss of it?
If we take a look at this match, if Real versus, and we can say that ManCity, the most successful team, Real Madrid in the history of the Champions League with 14 titles under their belt. And if we talk about ManCity, they have defined the past decade in the English football. If you take the past 5 seasons, they have won 4 Premier League titles, and right now they are dominating the football, European football right now. All in all, the match is taking place at the Santiago Bernabeu, and in that sense, it has Real Madrid, the champions of the Europe. We know that they have 14 titles, and last time ManCity won by beating Inter Milan, and they also defeated Real Madrid in the semi-finals in the previous season. So in that sense, it's going to be a cracker of the contest, but we can't take Real Madrid very easily or very lightly in the European matches. We know that they are the specialists in UEFA Champions League. They know how to win the matches even by the smaller margins. But this time around, the ManCity is a different team, and they are looking very ambitious ambitious to dominate the European football. In the past few seasons, we saw not only English Premier League, in the Champions League also, they are giving a very stiff competition to we can say that the traditional heavyweights of the European football. They have also displayed not only we can say a skilled football, the kind of team Pep Guardiola has assembled. They have a world-class goalkeeper in the form of Ederson. They have Erling Haaland they bought, and we can say seamlessly he scored for them in the English Premier League. And the kind of player Kevin De Bruyne, all we know that what can he do, and the class of Phil Foden, what he has done for ManCity in the past, we know that. In that sense, it's going to be difficult for the Real Madrid, but at the arena of the Champions League, at the arena and they are also playing at their home game, that is at the Santiago Bernabeu, and in the La Liga also, the tricky matches, the way they have played, and they also have a very intelligent coach. Both the coach, if we talk about Guardiola and their Real Madrid coach, both are the best coaches in the Champions League, have the best record in the Champions League. So it's going to be a tricky battle, and whosoever team play to their potential in this high voltage class definitely will have an upper hand in this contest.
Yes, and we really wish they play with their high skills on the game, on the cards, and they also play it safe amid all the threats that are coming. And it's now time to take a short break here on DD India Sports Bus, but still to come. Another points deduction for Everton. And multiple proposals under consideration to host Commonwealth Games 2026.
Three union territories go to the polls in Phase 1. Lakshadweep, Andaman Nicobar and Puducherry have seen some robust voting in elections. Narrow margin of victory or a highway contest on the cards. Will the trend continue? We dissect what matters for the people in the region on the Great Indian Election, Tuesdays at 8:30 p.m. IST and 1500 hours GMT, only on DD India.
Poll Pulse tracks the pulse of the poll-bound southernmost Indian state of Tamil Nadu.
Voting is our responsibility.
This is a big fight between BJP and India Alliance.
Will you vote?
போடுவோம். போட்டு நீங்க பேசுறதுனால எனக்கு ரொம்ப சந்தோஷம்.
Yeah, power of democracy. This is a huge.
The 2024 Lok Sabha polls in Tamil Nadu are witnessing the battle royale between DMK, AIADMK and the BJP.
Welcome back after that short break. You're watching DD India Sports Bus with me, Deepika. Staying on soccer, Bayern Munich coach Thomas Tuchel believes his side's extensive experience in the Champions League could give them the edge against Arsenal in the quarterfinals. But Tuchel also conceded Bayern's overall form this season that deserved criticism after some lackluster displays.
I usually give everything for the team that I train, and I feel involved, and I feel privileged enough to be on that kind of level, and that has not changed. I do it of course also for my pleasure and for my will to win and to prove myself on that kind of level. But yeah, no more headlines, please, about other clubs or what else. I will put everything in for Bayern Munich until the last match. This is for absolutely sure, and that's what I demand of myself.
Meanwhile, Arsenal will be wary of striker Harry Kane in Bayern Munich's ranks, who simply loves to score against the Gunners. Such is their form and Bayern's current struggles that they will go up against the six-time champions as favourites.
Well, the consistency, when you look at his numbers over the last 10 years, is unbelievable what he's done. So he can score in many different ways. He's got the service, he's got the players around him as well to provide those opportunities, and this is what we have to try to avoid. It's not only him. I think it's the team function, the individuals that they have, and obviously we know the individual qualities of all those players and him in particular, and the ability that he has. So the best thing to do is what we do collectively to try to prevent certain things.
Everton have received a 2-point deduction, which is their second point cut this season after the club's appeal against a Premier League charge for a breach of profitability and sustainability rules that was unsuccessful. The league said that the independent commission heard evidence and arguments from the club on a range of potential mitigating factors for its admitted breach of £16.6 million, including the impact of its 2 successive PSR charges. A news update on Ronaldo. Al Nassr captain Cristiano Ronaldo was sent off late on his side that lost by 2-1 to City rivals Al Hilal in their Saudi Super Cup semi-final after a heated clash in Abu Dhabi. Portugal's record scorer was shown a straight red card 4 minutes from time for elbowing an opponent when his side were 2-0 down before they scored a late consolation. Jorge Jesus' Al Hilal opened the scoring when Salim Al Dawsari slotted the ball into the bottom right corner from Sergej Milkanovic's flick after a quick break. Brazilian forward Marcom doubled the lead in the 72nd with a fine header after Michael's long cross from the right that found his compatriot unmarked in the centre of the box. Former Liverpool forward Sadio Mane got Al Nassr on the score sheet in stoppage time off Abdul Rahman Garib's pass. Al Hilal will seek a record-extending 4th title in Thursday's final when they face Karim Benzema Al Ittihad, who beat Al Wahida by 2-1. Moving on, the Commonwealth Games Federation said multiple proposals are being considered to host the 2026 edition of Commonwealth Games. The Federation also hopes to announce the 2026 hosts by May this year. Australia's state of Victoria earlier withdrew as the host of the Commonwealth Games in July 2023 due to projected cost of overruns, placing the future of the quadrennial multisport event in doubts. Singapore and Malaysia have also rejected offers to hold the Commonwealth Games 2026 edition, despite the Federation offering £100 million in supporting funds.
Offered £100 million as an incentive to our members to look at hosting a games. We knew that was going to be challenging. It was a very short lead in time, and the kind of countries that would be interested in that would have had to have existing facilities, not be having to spend huge amounts of money on building villages, and have really good event expertise. So we put it out there, and last week, or just a few days ago, we met with the board. It was the first physical meeting since the general election, and they were in a situation where they could review several concepts that had come from the membership, which have some exciting opportunities for us to now consider. So going from there, what we're doing now is we are in what we call a dialogue phase.
Indian men's hockey team will take on Australia in their 3rd game of the 5-match series on Wednesday. Having lost the opener by 5-1 and second match by 4-2, India now trails the series by 2-0. The 5-match series, which is part of India's Paris 2024 Olympic preparations, concludes on the 13th of April. Now at the Olympics, India and Australia are placed in Group B of the hockey competition. In India, who won the bronze at 2020 Tokyo Olympics, will look forward to change the colour of the medal this time around. On to tennis, Sumit Nagal creates history as he became the first ever Indian man to record a mean draw at the Monte Carlo Masters. He defeated Italy's Matteo Arnaldi in the first round on Monday. The unseeded 95th ranked Sumit Nagal also became only the 3rd Indian ever to feature in the main draw in Monte Carlo after Vijay Amritraj and Ramesh Krishnan. Sumit Nagal also came from a set down to beat world number 35 Arnaldi by 5-7, 6-2 and 6-4 in 2 hours and 37 minutes. Sumit is also the first ever Indian to win an ATP Masters 1000 match on clay court since the series began in 1990s. The Indian will next face 7-seeded Dane and last year's runner-up Holger Rune. Staying on tennis, Karen Khachanov was made to battle before overcoming Britain's Cameron Norrie by 7-5 and 7-6 at the Monte Carlo Masters on Monday. The Russian 15th seed had his serve broken twice in the opening set and was forced into the tie break in the second. Norrie again broke serve twice in the second and at 6-5 up. He had 2 break points to win the set, but Khachanov hit back with 3 consecutive aces to hold serve and fired another 2 aces to take the tie break with ease. Khachanov will face Argentine Francisco in the second round. And that's all for this edition of DD India Sports Buzz. But let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. You can connect with us on Facebook, X, formerly known as Twitter, and Instagram. We will be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I am Deepika Mehto, and from all of us here in New Delhi, thank you so much for watching DD India Sports Buzz.